What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burroaks77 coming to you with my man McAfee. We are box to box. This is going to be the final episode of Box to Box. We're still going to be having a Friday afternoon show, but with European soccer coming to an end this week, it'll be less soccer centric and more to do with every other sport, kind of like our other afternoon shows. We will still have European qualifier stuff for you. We'll probably, bring you some transfer talk and rumors and shit like that. But yeah, this is kind of it. We're wrapping everything up. We got FA Cup final this weekend. We got last week of Spain. We got last week of France, which is kind of locked up except for one relegation spot. And we got last week of Italy. So yeah, before we jump into the slate, shout out to our sponsors, GoldBoys for hosting us, Pickett Sports for being a great bet tracking and unit management app, and Sleeper Fantasy. We're sponsored by all those guys. We got promo codes, Burroaks, McAfee. I don't know. Get at us on Twitter. Follow literally anything we post that's promoting them. You'll get the codes there. Jumping into it. Transfer rumors are already heating up. Everything's flying around like crazy. Do you know how many fucking people asked me yesterday how I felt about Ben's leaving, only for that to immediately get retracted and changed? Like, guys, if you guys have not been through soccer transfer window before, if it's not coming from Fab and it's not coming from the club's official Twitter, it's all just rumors. And anybody who says sources say, I could make up a rumor right now on the spot and go, sources close to McAfee and Oaks say. And that's the basis of the rumor. So just so you guys know, like, if you start buying into everything you read online, you are going to be so heartbroken. You are going to get a lot of things wrong. Like, soccer transfer season is fun, but everybody out there reporting isn't doing a good journalistic integrity job. The goal is to be first and get most clicks, because that's the only point of writing those articles. It's the only point in sharing those things. So until Fob says it or until the official team Twitter says it, it's all speculation. So yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, what do you think about Benzema leaving? Like, I'm sure people be. I mean, I like Ronaldo. He's too young to leave Europe. I think now, if he wants to go to the Middle East and secure a big ass bag, I mean, I'm not faulting him, but I do feel like Madrid are setting up for like one last run with this core of guys next year, because they all kind of did their 1 year contract.
Yep.
And Carlo, it seems like he wants to see out one more season there, and obviously Brazil keep twerking for him and saying that they want him. But I mean, it's just hard to say. When the Saudis can come in and just puts stupid life changing money, probably more money than you've made in your entire career for a couple years of, it would be silly to say it's not tempting, but Benzema obviously being still a very prolific goal scorer in Europe, I think it would be maybe a year too early, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'm thinking the same thing. Obviously, especially for older guys, this was an absolute bear of a season. Guys cannot wait to catch a little break here. Shoving that World Cup in the middle of the season, it was tough. It was beyond tough. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I think Benz is going to do what's best for himself first and the club second. And that's the way it should be. He's got to take care of himself and his family. Not that he's hurting for cash or anything, but I mean, 200 million tax free is 200 million tax free. Like, that's nothing to turn your nose down at. I do think that he's still got a lot of competitive football in him. I obviously want to see him back. He's a club legend. He's one of my favorite players. But that said, the writing's on the wall. It has been for a minute. We're getting ready to move on. I think this team has another great run in them. I think we're making some good signings. We're linked to a lot of the right people. So yeah, I mean, the future is always bright for Madrid. We got a lot of money. We got a great coach. You know, the competitiveness in Madrid is always going to be there. We're always going to be in the UCL conversation. We'll be in the La Liga conversation, Copa del Rey. I mean, we won 3 titles this year, so it's hard to kind of ignore what we got going on. I know you guys are linked to Declan Rice. I've also heard that Odegaard might be moving to PSG. You know,
That's news to me. I hadn't heard that rumor. I thought we gave him improved wages and all that, but hey, if PSG want to, put a stupid offer on, I don't think Odegaard's untouchable.
no, I don't think. I think for the right amount of money, there's very few people who are untouchable because money always talks. You can always take that, reinvest, and go out and make some other moves. But yeah, so I just wanted to start with that. I know everybody loves transfer talk. It's a great time of year. This hot stove is always cooking. I mean, rumors have been flying around since January, end of January transfer window. And we'll see a flurry of activity early. Guys who have already agreed to personal terms and are just kind of waiting on their contracts to be done. And then it'll be a lot of wait and see. You know, and all of this stuff is just that. It's rumors, it's negotiations. As we all know, if you can get your name attached anywhere to any of the big clubs, you drive your price up. So these players and these agents are always going to say, well, you know, Madrid's looking at him. Oh, City's looking at him. PSG's looking at him. United's looking at him. Arsenal's looking at him. Anybody, if you get your name attached to a big club, you just drove your contract price up. So a lot of this stuff is speculation and rumor. That's why you got to take it all with a grain of salt. But yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff. A lot of relegated players that are pretty good. I'm seeing some James Ward-Prowse to Wolves might be on the cards. Maybe Tottenham might be interested in him as well. I think he would bring a bit of quality into that midfield. Obviously, Mads from Leicester is probably going to get a move back into the Premier League.
Yeah, probably Barnes too.
Yeah, and Leeds might get rated too. There's a couple good young guys there. I don't know. It's a lot of fun, that's for sure. And I saw Napoli, big news, U.S. men's national team related. If Osimhen goes to the Premier League or wherever he ends up going, maybe he goes to Real Madrid to replace Benzema. Who the hell knows? But that they are looking at Balogun as a replacement if Osimhen is to leave, which I think would be huge. Now, I don't know if Arsenal are going to sell. It's I'd like to see Balogun get a shot at Arsenal next season, but I understand he's at a point in his career where he needs to play.
He needs reps, facts.
Right, and I don't see him being ahead of Gabby Jesus at this point in time in his career. Like he's a good player, very good player, hopefully a great player. But yeah, Jesus is a top tier guy. I maybe a change in system or something. But yeah, I saw that pop up as a rumor today that I thought was interesting too.
I've also seen some stuff about Ricardo Pepe maybe going to Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, which would be a great move for him. I'm a big fan of his. He's only 19 still, 19 or 20. Great striker. The move to Augsburg just wasn't ideal for his playing time. It was a great move financially for both him and Dallas. It's just Augsburg was stuck in the don't get relegated system. And they managed to not get relegated, but when you're playing a 4-4-2 and heavy on the defense, that just doesn't set up well for what Ricardo Pepe does, and I think that's why they ended up loaning him out. So I would love to see him get a move over to the Dutch league because they do play a much more Ricardo Pepe friendly brand of football over there. So yeah, that's a little U.S. men's national team talk mixed with some rumor talk.
Always fun.
Oh yeah, like I said, I don't know. You want to start with FA Cup? I think that's the one standalone English
Sure.
game. I know that's kind of what people gravitate towards too. We got City hosting Man United, and by hosting I mean it's at a neutral field. It's at Wembley for the FA Cup final. If
Yep.
City end up winning this, they have a double, and they'll be going for a triple with the UCL. So a treble's a big deal. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
last time an English team did it was Sir Alex Ferguson's Man United back in '99, and yeah, very difficult to achieve. Obviously, from any country, there's only been a handful of teams that have pulled it off. But yeah, City are huge favorites in both of these cup finals. So I was actually earlier today. I was talking to Nick Larson, one of the cappers in our Discord,
yeah,
and
he's got tickets on them to win the double and win the triple, right?
Yeah, so he's sitting on a couple nice futures tickets that he locked in when he did this when Holland signed.
Yep, I know he's a big Holland guy.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for him to have those tickets come through. He's got a plus 550 if they win the FA Cup, and then 2,900 if they win the whole treble. So yeah, I'd like to see him cash those tickets. That would be great. I will always root for City against United, just as a long-standing
Rival.
rival. I don't really see Man City as a rival. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but I almost put them in their own little category of like artificially inflated, like
they're
right.
new money.
And so I just can't hate them. They when they're on their day, they play some great football. But I just can't get emotionally invested in disliking this team, even with all the scandals. I think maybe in a couple of years, Arsenal might get awarded this title if if City gets stripped of 15 points or something like that, or maybe even relegated. Well, who knows? We'll get one of those retroactive titles that nobody was able to celebrate during the time.
Nobody cares.
Like, we won the title 5 years ago.
Right, guys, let's celebrate about that 5 years ago.
Right, when we all knew City was cheating. But yeah, I think they blow United away, man. Minus $3, minus $4, wherever you're going to find it, is obviously not the way to play it. I think you just got to go. You got to pick player props or just go team goals. United for me are well off the pace, even with Casemiro and Varane and guys like that in the team and playing well. I don't see them being able to make the step up to really slow them down.
I guarantee you Cass is getting booked this game. I don't know what the price on that is, but I can almost guarantee you that Cass is getting booked this game.
Last game of the season, can't hold anything back, right?
Right. Why would he give a shit?
We know. We know. But yeah, I think you're onto something there. A Cass booking about plus 150. Shop that around, obviously, but I do think that that's probably a pretty strong look. And yeah, I mean, I think City, if they can, they'll want to put United away early and not even have to, break a sweat in the second half. Easier said than done, but yeah, if they can get 2 or 3 goal lead, you might see De Bruyne taken out of the fray. Will create chances. I don't doubt that. Yeah. They have too many quality players with like Eriksen and Casemiro at the base of that midfield.
Yeah, too many guys who can put in a nice, clean, long ball.
Yep. And so they will have chances. And I think that they are potentially live. If they score the first goal, that would make for a pretty interesting I think it would add obviously a ton of drama to the game.
Yep.
Now that City have to chase, and then United can play on the counter, which is what they kind of want to do anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if City get the first goal here, I think they will go on to get 2 or 3 more, and I think we could look at a pretty lopsided final, like a 3-0, maybe a 3-1 is kind of the way I see this thing playing out. I just you all you have to do is go back and you look at some of their league games. City do this to everybody pretty much. They when they're on their best football, it's just too hard to get the ball off of them, let alone create enough quality chances. So I mean, we'll see. That's why they still got to roll it out. They still got to play 90 minutes. And in a cup final, anything can happen. But I don't know.
I kind of like the price on City to win and both teams to score. You're getting right around plus 200. Obviously shop that around, but I think 2-1 on your money. Like you said, if Man U get like a surprise like goal in the first 10 minutes, or even if City is steamrolling, they still have the UCL final to look forward to. I could see them bring some guys off the bench, to kind of protect themselves there. But yeah, if you think United are getting a goal, I really like that City to win and both teams to score at double your money. I think there will be some value, especially for like shots, maybe not even like shots on target, for United, just because they are such heavy underdogs. I think that even though, when City is playing their best football, when you get down like that, when you do manage to get the ball, you don't give a shit if they're on target or not. Like eventually you just
Mm-hmm.
have to put up some shots from anywhere on the pitch. And they'll come from anybody. So yeah, I think there could be some value there. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. It's their first chance to win a triple in EPL, like you said, since 1999. Yeah, I like City to get the job done here, and I don't think that's very surprising, being minus $3 on the money line.
Yeah,
Um,
we're not patting each other on the back here for calling City, but I think if once we see the lineups, I think there is some going to be some value in finding those shots on target markets. I think looking at the first half, I think that City could potentially grab some goals in the first half here because they'll want to work quick, in my opinion. I don't think the longer they keep United in it, it's just it brings up more variance, of course. So
exactly, and it is a rivalry game, and United
mhm.
have already stuck it to City once this year, so City
Yep.
definitely don't want to see that happen again, especially in a final at Wembley.
Yeah, you got to lay $2 for City to score 2 goals in this game. Like that'll just tell you what they're expecting. Now United, like you said, I think they can score. You go back in recent history, they do seem to be able to hurt them when they get the opportunity. So I like that look of City to win, both teams to score. I think that could potentially be a good look. I think I'll probably take City just as long as I see the lineup and there's no Rico
No big
Lewis in
surprises.
midfield or something fucking weird like that, or Ederson's not in net. But
Yep.
I think City 2 goals in the first half at plus 300, I think is a really good look. I think it's my favorite thing on the menu right now. And it'll probably be an official bet once the lineups are coming in. And I'll probably sprinkle the over 2.5 goals in just the whole game. Like now,
Yeah.
I've been doing City, but like I said, I think there could be a United goal. They could find that goal. So I think playing 3 goals in the first half might be a way to do it. And I know that goes against what cup finals usually are, which are more cagey. We just saw in the Europa League final where 2 teams literally just played chess for the last fucking hour of that game. It felt
You want
like
to talk about that clear and obvious
sure.
handball that was missed at all, or we just
Well, I mean, yeah, that definitely I've seen those given. The handball rules are as cloudy as I can remember. At any point, like it's it changes based on, is it an offensive player or a defensive player that gets a handball? Does it lead to a goal? Does it not lead to a goal? Is it, there's so much interpretation in the handball rule as it stands. And now with like VAR, I think it's added an extra layer of confusion to, now we have no consistency. If a guy falls down like on a sliding tackle and his trailing arm stops the ball, I've seen those given, but then I've seen it in other situations where, hey, it's a natural
I've seen a
position,
guy
right?
doing a fucking push up to get up off the pitch and the
Yeah,
ball strikes his arm,
yeah,
and they say that's not a natural hand position, that's a handball. Like,
yep.
what the fuck's
We
the
just
guy
have,
supposed to do? Just lay there?
yeah, at this point, unless it's just if it's one of those things where you put 10 neutral
Unless you're
people together,
Suarez, like
right?
Kobe
Yeah,
swatting it off the line.
yeah. I think that's where it's at now. It's like if you put 10 people in a room and they all watch it, and we see 10 people all say it's a handball, I think now that's a handball. Like, but most of the time, we're somewhere in the gray, and you just hope that they even out for your team over the course of the season. In a cup final, it's really tough. I would prefer to err on the side of caution and say, hey, like, let's not award a penalty unless it was a very intentful, like reaching out and an extension to make yourself larger. Uh, if it would have been given, I don't think I would have been upset, but I can understand an official saying, hey, I'm not going to make the story about me giving this marginal call. I'm going to let it try to play out. And both teams really did, like, there was a gentleman's agreement that this thing's going to penalties. Like, that was the most boring shit after it was 1-1 for some reason. Like, I don't know. I mean,
It was a Jose Mourinho game. Did you
but yeah,
expect
it's a
anything
Mourinho.
less?
Yeah, it's a Mourinho game, like you said. So, I'd like to say, I think he could have gone on and tried to win that game, but like, no, I mean, he's very pro magna. He was 5-0 in finals for a reason, and just got unlucky. That yeah, penalties sometimes there
Yeah,
there
the
is luck
own goal
involved,
too.
but
Like that has to infuriate
mhm,
you is Mourinho. It's like, dude, we did our job. We got our 1-0 lead and we started parking the bus and we
yeah.
got a fucking own goal.
Well, and if that was Mancini that got the own goal, if he wasn't there, that was getting tucked in. Like that was unfortunate. It came off his knee and stuff. But I'll let you talk. I got to knock at my door real quick,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'll pop back in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
no problem.
Yep. Cool.
That's a perfect transition. We're gonna talk a little Italian ball now. Uh, let's see. So Italy is not playing everybody at the same time because everything except for one relegation spot is locked up in Italy. Our top four is set. Napoli obviously won the league 5 days or 5 matches ago. But yeah, Lazio, Inter, AC Milan all locked up their spots. There is some jockeying between Atalanta, Roma, Juve, but they are all locked into European spots. Torino cannot overcome the points differential to get to Juve, so it's just down to seeding at this point. I think Roma is going to have a really tough time this weekend. I think they barely show up after that cup final loss. Jose has already been fined for what he told the official. Atalanta, they've been hot and cold. I'm not super impressed with what they got going on. We'll talk about the Juve game when McAfee gets back a little bit.
I'm back.
Oh, hey, what's up? I
Yeah.
don't see your face because I'm looking at the table right now.
All
But
good.
yeah, Spiza, Verona, I don't know. As far as the Italian stuff's concerned, I see a couple numbers on the board that I am interested in. I'm not super, there's not a ton going on the table here, other than the Spiza Verona kind of conversation. Italy's also unique. I guess I will mention that is that they don't go off of goal differential. They go off of head-to-head as their first tiebreaker, and that's why Spiza is above Verona, even though Verona has a better goal differential. So that's just one little interesting thing about Italy. Um, the game, the games I am interested in though are Juve. Who are they playing? Juve is playing Udinese away. Juve can kind of jump Roma to get out of Europa Conference League and get into regular Europa League here. Um, Udinese, I've said all year, they started out really hot. They ended up being fraudulent, like I said they would be. They're down in 12th place. They've lost their last 3 in a row. Juve has had a very up and down season with getting fined and having points taken away from them twice.
Mhm.
The fact that I can get Juve at even money here on the road in the final game versus Udinese, who have absolutely nothing to play for. They're secure. They can't move up. They can't move down. They're just kind of getting ready to pack it in. And Juve, who can move out of Europa Conference League into regular Europa, the fact that I can get them at even money, I'm probably going to back them on the road here.
Yeah, I guess it'd be a lineup thing for me. I've pretty well faded Juve down the stretch here. It's just not a team I've been interested in touching. Um, the team has been chopped and changed a lot. It looks like Vlahovic is on his way out
Yep.
of the club. So uh, if he's gone from the first 11 here, then you look at it and it's like, who are we looking at for goals in this team? Is it going to be Milik?
Kane.
Yeah, maybe
I think with
Chiesa,
Rabiot,
something
kind of
like that.
honest, I'm going to take a shot on Rabiot if he
Hmm.
starts, if he's on his way out.
Yep.
I obviously have bet I played his shot on target. He's also very good in the air. He scores some nice headers. He's got some
Hmm.
distance to his game. You guys have heard me talk about him plenty. But yeah, if he's on his way out, I like him to show up a little bit. Quadrado. There's a lot of good guys over there in Juve. But yeah,
Hmm.
they're gonna obviously restructure over the summer. They got to take care of some business. They got to figure out whether or not Allegri's going to stay. But yeah, I like Juve here in a chance to move up and play a little more competitive European football, which will help them draw in new and different players.
Hmm.
Because that's the thing is Juve is very big club over there in Italy. They have their eyes set on top 4 next year. They have their eyes set on winning some trophies and some titles. They'll make the moves to do it.
Yeah. What about today? We've got lineups for Sassuolo and Fiorentina. Um, Anything that's catching your eye? I'm looking at a couple things right now.
I'm taking a
Um,
look at the lineup. I'm playing Berardi for a goal or an assist. I'll probably split the unit.
mhm,
In like what his last 9 games, I think he's got like 10 goal contributions or something like that. He's a man
mhm.
on fire right now. So yeah, I'm gonna play Berardi, especially at home in Sassuolo's last match. Guy's just been an absolute fucking menace recently.
Yeah, and I mean on the Fiorentina side, it's a little bit of a changed team. They don't have um, Nico Gonzalez in the lineup, but they do have Arthur Cabral in there. So I think there is potential for we're looking at a both teams to score in this one. For me, I want to peek at it real
I think it's
quick
like
and see where we're
minus
at.
180-ish. I had
Mm,
both teams to score over 2.5 because I do like goals here.
mm-hmm,
I'm thinking if I can get that like minus 130, I'll probably play it just to have a little action today since the MLB is a fucking joke and still can't give us Friday games except for last week. So I gotta get a little action here. But yeah, I'm looking at Berardi. I like Cabral too. I don't have
mm-hmm.
his prices in front of me. But yeah, I think there's 3 goals in this game. Fiorentina has been on a nice little run here since February. They've been crushing it. So
Yeah, everybody's plus money to score in this. Berardi 130, Coverall 170. These are FanDuel lines. I think what I'm going to look at is playing their shots on target together. Yep, that's minus 101 on FanDuel. I'm going to peek over here at the stool right now and give that out. I think that's going to be an official for me.
nice.
Yeah, I think it's we saw in the last game that they Sassuolo played bottom of the table. I can't recall. I'm having a brain fart, but Sampdoria, and it was really like a wide open game, back and forth, like end to end. Nobody's really defending with any sort of ferocity. So sometimes these
That game
games
ended
where it's,
2-2, right?
I think so, yeah,
Yeah,
and
Sampdoria got a late one to tie it
mhm.
up.
It could have been any score, honestly. Like I was on a couple different props in that game, and I thought that you know, Cagliarella had two free headers like in inside of between, it was like right between the 6 yard box and the penalty spot, and he put them both wide of the frame. And then I think there was one or two goal line clearances in the game. Yeah, it was just a really open and attacking game, and this is kind of what I expect in from a match where it's just an open game between two mid-table sides that have their their feet up a little bit. So it hopefully nobody's playing too good a defense, and we just kind of have an open and attacking game.
Yeah, and I see some rotation early coming for Fiorentina since they have the Conference
Mm-hmm.
League final on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I can see some guys coming off and some changes happening around the 65th minute there. But yeah, I agree with you. We were talking pre-show, and the Fiorentina's only lost 2 of their last 15 matches. They've been playing really good football lately. I think they want to keep their guys hot, in form, get a nice sweat going, and then it doesn't really matter to them how they finish the league. They need to win Europa Conference League final, and then they'll play in Europa next year. So that's what their main goal should be: is don't get hurt, make sure we win this Conference League final.
Yep, I think you're right.
The other game I want to talk about that I have interest in, we're gonna have to wait and see lineups and stuff like this. Inter's fucking plus 200 at Torino. Now I know Torino is really good and their defense is stout, especially at home. But this Inter team has been on an absolute different planet than everybody in Italy since Napoli kind of packed it up and called it a year. So the fact that you can get Inter at plus 200 on the road at Torino has my interest, because to me that says the books think that they're going to play as few starters as possible and rest everyone for Champions League. I kind of understand that, but also like we've said, a lot of those guys need some tick in a competitive match before they just go into Champions League with nobody playing for like 2 full weeks, except for on the training ground. So I see Inter putting out a pretty decent lineup here. I'm not sure if we'll see Dzeko or Lukaku. Lukaku has been hot recently, so they definitely played that pretty well to make him find his form after the World Cup when he got healthy. Lautaro Martinez is absolutely on a rip. I don't think he's gonna catch Osimhen to win the Golden Boot or anything like that, but he if they throw him out there, he's certainly gonna try.
Speaking of him, he was one of the
No,
12
not at
names.
my club. Not at
Yeah,
my fucking
right.
club. Get
Like,
those,
hey,
no
let's get
offense, but get them Argentinian motherfuckers out of here. I do not fuck with Argentinians that do not run.
Well, he runs pretty hard. Like
He
he's a
does.
hardworking
I'll give
guy.
him that. He gets a little bit of Murata syndrome. He misses chances that he needs to be making.
Yeah, it's I think I don't know. Yeah, I would be surprised if he's kind of player that Madrid want to lead their line. I feel like they would want a
He's
much
also a little
more.
older too, isn't he? Isn't he like in his late 20s?
Gosh, if you put my feet to the fire, I would guess he's 25 or 26. I honestly don't know. So maybe
I'll
Sam
find
can
it.
look it up. Yeah, or you can figure it out. But I don't think he's that old. I think he's got a lot of good years ahead of him. But yeah, I think he complements Lukaku really well
He
and
is
Dzeko really
25.
well. There you go. So I think have uh, they have enough money and they have enough draw. Obviously, they're going to be challenging for San Siro next season, and they're in the Champions League final. So um, I don't know if he's wants to leave or anything like that, but yeah, I think I like Inter down the stretch here. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
they're just a machine. So um, finding the right props for them to get into plus money sounds like the right thing to do.
they're 200. They're plus 200 right now,
Mm, that's juicy. Yeah, I feel
right?
like unless we're just seeing, but even their changed team is still pretty
Is
damn
still
good.
very
So
good.
yeah, so if you don't play Onana, you've got Handanovic in net. If you don't play, Lukaku, you got Dzeko, you got yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's like if you don't play uh, Demarco, you got Gosens. If you don't play, um, somebody like a Mkhitaryan, you've got Brozovic. Like, I mean, they just got a lot of depth. It's a good team. So,
Yeah, and
um,
that's but
yeah,
now the reason I say that is because like I think we're getting such an advantageous number because Torino, like I said, very stout defensively at home. They've only given up 18 goals at home in 18 home matches. That's a goal a game. That said, like we always say in Italy, well, you haven't played Napoli when they were still competing for a title. They handled their business in Torino, and you haven't played this hot Inter side yet. So take that home defensive record with a little grain of salt because you're still just waiting to play the two best teams in Italy. So yeah, the fact that I can get Inter at 2-1 right now, I might buy in now and for like half a unit and then just if the sides change, I don't care. I'll ride it. I'll eat the loss there because I think I get the closing line value. And then if they play their strong side and that line moves, obviously I'm already invested. I get the closing line value there either way.
heck yeah, I'm with you.
So
I think
that's kind of,
I might fire on Inter too,
yeah.
and just say fuck it. Like
Yeah,
if you
because
see
it's
where the
two to
first
one
three,
on your money, and this team's been absolutely
right,
steamrolling
and
everybody.
if the first 15 minutes look like they don't give a fuck, then you could just come in on a double chance and you get
Yep.
yourself out of the position. Yeah,
Yeah, easily. Yeah, you can easily get yourself out of that position at like maybe 15 or 20 cents on the dollar,
yeah.
which I think is an advantageous way to play it. So that said, that's really all I have in Italy, unless you have any games that really jump off the page and excite you.
Um, in terms of jumping off the page and exciting, no, nothing that crazy for me. But I do think it'll be interesting to see Napoli on this last day.
Yeah,
I think against Sampdoria, who are the worst team, like this could be a fun game for Napoli props because they may decide, hey, let's put fucking 6 or 7 goals up.
right.
Um, this again, they've got a fight on their hands to keep Osimhen. I know he's going to want to
I
play,
think they're
and
probably.
and
I think they. I don't think they're going to keep him. I think they might sell as much as they can while they're high,
mm-hmm,
because their coach is taking a year off. He's leaving football for a year, as reported by Napoli and himself. So I think losing
Yeah.
your coach, having all these players that you can sell at a high point, it's disappointing for me as a Napoli fan, because I wanted them to spend the money and keep everybody together. If Kim goes to United and this team gets a heavy changeover, they're gonna struggle to compete next year
Yeah.
in Serie A.
And he's suspended. You mentioned Kim. He's suspended for this game due to yellow card accumulation. So, he may have played his last game in a Napoli shirt. But yeah, Kavitska's been a bit of a drought in terms of assists and goals. So you're starting to see some pretty juicy numbers on him too. So I think we got
We've
to
just
run it
seen a
back.
lot of lackluster performances from Napoli since they
Mhm.
secured the title, which is to be expected because they do have to look at their rotational guys. Because what team are they putting on the pitch next year?
Yeah. Other than Osimhen, who still seems like he wants to fucking score as
He
many
wants
goals as
that
he
golden
possibly
boot.
can.
Like he said
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year when he came back from injury, he's like, "Yo, fuck you, I'm still getting this golden boot," and that's
Hmm.
why he's also been given the longer leash to stay on the pitch longer than you'd think he would, with them having the title secure and him making a potential move. He really, really wants that golden boot, and he is 4 goals clear of it. But like we said, Inter, they're going
Yeah.
to play Torino, and if Martinez goes out there, he wants that golden boot just as bad because he's got 21 goals. That's nothing to turn your nose down at.
Yep.
But yeah, that's kind of all I got in Italy, unless
Yeah. We,
unless
we we can move on. I'm good.
cool. Spain, there's not a ton going on here. There is a little bit of a relegation battle going on that I do have interest in. I am a soft Valladolid fan. I like their kits. I like Kyle Larin. I like that Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo owns a piece of them. I want to see Valladolid stay up. I'm not a huge Getafe guy. I'm not a huge Celta guy. I'm not a huge Almeria guy. So I want to see Valladolid get some points here and make the jump and get out of this relegation spot. They are at home versus Getafe. I like Valladolid on the money line right around plus 115. They are significantly better at home than they are on the road. But this game should have some goals in it. Getafe, if they lose, will be back in the relegation conversation. So they'll want to put in a goal or two to kind of increase the goal differential stats here. So I think of both teams to score over 2.5 isn't a terrible look, but I'm going to be playing Valladolid on the money line, and I'll probably be playing Larin props.
Yeah. Laren's been obviously in strong form, so I don't hate that look at all. A lot of this stuff on the final day, you want to see and make sure that these guys are locked in, but I would be very surprised if he's not starting. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
With a
I think it's a
relegation
good look.
spot on the line, yeah, I would be
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah,
Unless he's not fit, and I haven't seen any reports that he's picked up a knock or anything like that. So
yeah,
I would be shocked not to see him in the lineup.
exactly. So I think it's a good look. Obviously Hitape will try to defend their asses off. I guess that's the one thing. Like they want to get the hell out of there with a 0-0 if they can.
Yeah.
So, the chances that they get jumped by all these teams on the final day would be pretty wild, but it is possible. So, securing a draw here guarantees their safety. So it's like,
And it guarantees that it takes care of everybody else.
validated. Yeah,
Valladolid
yeah,
is then locked in.
they've
They're
been done.
relegated.
So it's a tough one in that sense, but I do think you'll see desperation because they'll throw everything. You'll
That's
have the
why I'm
keeper
back
up
in
top.
Valladolid, because at home, back against the wall, relegation spot on the line,
Yeah.
you're gonna see them absolutely go for it here. And I like getting a team in that position at a plus number.
Yep, a lot of drama in Spain. So this is fun. This has got a lot of lot of intrigue here. And it's all
Another
what
really good one
they
I
staggered
like.
it, right? It's like
Sunday.
half the slate is like playing, and then the second half of the slate kicks off like couple hours
Yeah,
later,
so we
right?
have 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 games at noon and 5 games at 3.
Okay,
Or
that's what I thought. I
12:30.
remember. I was wishing they would fire off all of them at the same time, which would be pretty nuts. But
They have
um,
they have the teams that are not they can't be
right,
influenced in or out of a position all going early, and then they have every team that might possibly have something to play for going late at the 3 o'clock window.
that 3 o'clock window is going to be nuts.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that 3 o'clock window, a team that might still get down into relegation that I have beef with is Valencia. Dude, they're
Mm-hmm.
somehow favorites, winning only 3 fucking road games this year. They're somehow that's wild to me.
Mm-hmm. I think Valencia have shown me a little bit of something, enough that I the win against Madrid obviously was contentious, and with the whole Vinny Jr. Racist idiot fan, and like him getting sent off and all that kind of stuff. Like I feel like it did just enough to get Valencia. They put enough
They
wind in their
immediately
sails.
lost to Mallorca on the island the next
Right.
week.
I think that win in their head, it was like it made them safe. You know what I mean? Like they're like, this was a 3 points we weren't even planning on.
And
yeah,
now
like
they
you
gotta
said,
go to Betis, and Betis
now,
hates losing
yeah.
at home.
And so it's a tough one. Valencia. I was looking at the previous match. They did get a 3-0 in this reverse fixture. Betis had a red card in that match.
Yep.
So
they were also at home too. Like I said,
right.
Valencia's won a grand total of 3 away games this season.
Yeah, I guess it's another one where a point locks them up. They're safe with a point. So how expensive are they going to be? What they can do is defend their ass off, I think. So I anticipate a pretty low scoring game in this. I don't think you know how
Borja's in great form. He just had a brace.
Yeah, he's in good form. But you know how Betis are. They, especially with once Fekir went out, that's a lot of their creative spark and drive going forward. I've watched. I think I could count on. I'd need both hands to count how many times I've watched Betis go out there, and it's the most boring fucking like 0-0 shit. Like where like, it's both teams are just tapping it around, shooting from 35 yards out. Like nobody's really being too crazy. If you told me this game ended 0-0, I would not be shocked. But I mean, for Betis, what is they can't
they're
they're locked into 6
on the draw no bet at home against a team who's only won 3 road games this season.
So that tells you.
I just don't know how you don't take Betis at home in the last game of the season in the Basque Country on the draw no bet at a plus number.
Yeah, and so they're completely locked into the 6th spot. They can't move up or down. Yep. And yeah, 0-0 for me. That might be a game where I'm just like, let's fucking lock in the 0-0 now. What is that pay? I'm gonna look at that.
Probably 5.5 or 6 to 1. It's probably better to take under a goal. It almost is always better to take under 0.5 scored than it is to take the exact score.
Let me see here. Let's look. Pull this match. There it is. Had it listed at the bottom. So under a goal is 12.20. And then the 0-0, yeah, 12 is 1,200. So, yeah, I like the draw a lot because it plus 250. That kind of makes some sense. Take the under 2.5 is plus 112. Ooh, that might be the bet right there. under 2.5 plus money. I like it. I think that's the play. Because Valencia, yeah, if they get a goal, they're defending their ass off. Like, of course, but I think they defend their ass off to start because the draw, sees them safe. So,
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, we could bounce off of it.
Next one I want to talk about is Celta versus Barca. Celta's got their backs against the wall. If Valladolid wins, they could get relegated. But Celta fucking suck, and Barca is plus 130. So I'm not that bright, and I fucking hate Barcelona, but I'm taking Barcelona at plus 130.
Yeah, and if they lose, man, that Celta Vigo could be in trouble. They
Yep.
may go down. So they're obviously going to lose a couple players already. Gabby Viega, if you've watched this show, you've heard me talk about him a couple times. Really, really good young player. I think is going to probably get plucked by a bigger club regardless this summer. Aspas, I know he feels like he's going to just retire at that club, whether they go up or down. I don't think it'll matter.
He's been wearing the backpack for Celta for way too long.
Yeah.
I don't hate his props here. If you think Celta gets a goal, that's for me. That's where it's got to come from. He's got to dust off his backpack and try and get something here. I know he's been struggling a lot lately, but Celta in general has been struggling a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gotten a positive. They've gotten one draw in their last 5 games and 4 losses. So they're slumping bad. They're desperate. But yeah, I fucking hate Barcelona, and I can't get money down fast enough on them at plus 130.
What's the Golden Boot race look like in Spain? Is Lewandowski locking up?
No, Ben's if he gets like a hat trick against we're playing Bilbao too. Like he could go off on Bilbao. It's 23 to 18.
Pulling it up right now.
Yeah, it's 23 to 18. So Louis probably got it in the bag.
He's locked. Let's be real. So, but I mean, Benzema 5 goals. I think that's a lot to ask.
It is a lot to ask, but I've also seen him score a hat trick and a half.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess 1 goal for Lewandowski would probably sew that thing up if it's not already. I mean, yeah, Barcelona, they finally got their team healthy here. I get Busquets. This is his last game, or maybe he already decided he's out, and because I know he took his bow at the Bernabeu, or not the Bernabeu, but the Camp Nou, and yeah, so yeah, I mean Barcelona, they're like I said, their team's all healthy now, so they are out. Well, no, Balde got hurt. I remember he just got hurt in one of the recent games, but yeah, their team is just too good for Celta Vigo here. So I like that. I think them at plus money. They can get 90 points in the league. Not that that's like any crazy thing, but that'd be a pretty strong way to end the season. Yeah, I think you're onto something. I have trouble seeing them scoring on Barcelona's defense, which has been
for sure. That's the
so
thing.
good.
Like
Right.
I don't see Celta getting more than 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then how do they keep a clean sheet against Barca here? Unless Barca just don't give a fuck and just slap the ball around, right? If they play with any intention, they're going to score a couple goals.
Yeah, because Celta's going to have to push, and they're going to be way open in the back end.
Yeah.
That said, there's a couple more games I definitely really like over here in Spain. Villarreal taking on Atleti. Villarreal, I've said all year how much they struggle on the road. They obviously disappointed us last week. That said, I love them here at home on a draw no bet at even money. And I know he didn't score last game, but like if you guys haven't been paying attention, Jackson's red fucking hot. I'm taking him for a goal again.
Yeah, Nico Jackson. I mean, I saw his release clause is only about 35 million.
Mhm.
Um, I would expect somebody to maybe come in and pluck him this summer if they miss one of their primary targets. It seems like a guy that he's big, he's flexible. He reminds me of Isaac. Uh,
Yeah, he does. He reminds me a
he's
lot of Isak.
Yeah, he can dribble. He can move out onto the left wing. He had a couple really nice assists in like maybe 2 matches ago,
Yep.
and then obviously finished a couple chances in his last 5 games too. So cashed a bet for me. I was on his goal. Um, yeah, very informed player.
A
Villarreal
guy
definitely.
who a guy who struggled to get playing time until an injury
Mhm,
came up, and he stepped in, and he stepped in a huge way. Him and Chuck Ueze seem to have a lot of things figured out over there, and they're playing good ball. Villarreal
mhm.
just they need to get better on the road, and they're a very competitive team. Like, let's not forget this team knocked Byron out of the Champions League. One year ago. Like, not this
Mhm.
Champions League, the previous Champions League. Like, this Villarreal side, especially at home, is no bullshit.
Yeah, and DePaul is suspended out of the athletic midfield, which is a miss. Um, they Oblak's not going to be in goal for them either, which is another miss. So I could see them. I
Griezmann's
could
been
see.
stuff in the stat sheet too.
I do.
Griezmann,
I
Griezmann's
think we
the
see some
guy
goals.
who puts off his work until the last possible minute. Because like
Mm-hmm.
for 2/3 of the season, you're like, why the fuck are we paying Griezmann so much money? And then in the last
Mm-hmm.
third of the season, he's like, look, guys, look at all the goals and assists I had. It's like, dude, you didn't show up for 6 months.
Yep. Well, and that what's funny is like the one time I unbanned Atleti this season, like I've literally bet them.
Oh yeah, I know. You hate Atlanta. You wouldn't even
I
fucking
can't
play him
stand
in
them.
Champions League, bro.
All right, no, I can't stand playing them. I unbanned them against Elche, uh, and they got clean sheeted 1-0.
Yep.
Now outside of that, they've scored 5 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals. Like they're just like putting
They
up these
also
absurd
completely
numbers.
fumbled the game the other day when they were up 3-1 and then just gave up 2 goals at the end.
Hmm.
One
Yeah,
to
that
my boy Jose Lu. Shout out Jose Lu.
that could be impactful. I don't think it matters what Champions League like situation is going to be if who gets second, who gets third, because the top three go in automatically, right? And then fourth
Top
has the
four.
playoff. So I would say I thought the fourth has a playoff against somebody, but maybe I'm mistaken on that. So
Only if
I
it's only if they have to do it because Sevilla won Europa. But I thought Europa is guaranteed. I thought if you win Europa, you're guaranteed a Champions League spot. But that
that
shouldn't
you are.
knock Sociedad out.
I think Sociedad. Not that it knocks them out. I don't think it knocks them out. I think it they may have to have a playoff, like a home and away. And again, that might have changed, but I'm pretty sure that like they'll end up playing a team from like it'll be like the second place team from uh Bulgaria or something like that, like some bullshit that they should get through no problem. But um yeah, at least that's the way it used to be. And I could be
It's
wrong on that.
it's four now. Yeah, it's four auto bids from Spain.
Okay, all right, and then so I so they're getting 5 auto bids with Sevilla's uh,
Yep.
Europa League win. Okay, well, yeah, that's I could see myself getting invested on the Villarreal side. I think it's a good one for player props if you want to mess with like Nico, like you mentioned. If you want to mention, throw Griezmann in there. Um, you could probably put together a pretty nice little shot parlay. But I do
Yeah,
think
with whoever starts between Memphis and Morata,
mm-hmm,
maybe some Chuck Ueze.
yep,
Yeah, there's
Moreno
yep,
if he's
Moreno.
playing. Yep. So I guess hold to lineups, but Yeah, I think that game has potential. I think we could see like a 2-2 kind of type of a score line. And I may unban them for a hot second just to play some shots
Yeah,
because it is the last game of the season. And I'll get hurt again, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But
right.
just have some
That's
fun on
part
the
of
last day.
gambling is like
Yeah.
you got to accept that you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
Hmm.
That said, I think we got a great little storyline here for Sociedad versus Sevilla. Sevilla obviously just won Europa. They're headed back to Champions League miraculously after an abysmal time in La Liga this year. Sociedad's only like minus 130, minus 135 on the money line at home. I would be shocked if Sevilla players are ready to show up and play this game. I think they're out getting
Hmm.
fucking hammered right now. I think they're partying their asses off just like they should
Right.
be. So the fact that I can get Sociedad at home, even though I don't have a ton to play for, they got guys that they need to evaluate. They have guys that are going to play with purpose. I'm fine laying the juice here on Sociedad getting this win because I think Sevilla is going to be all sorts of hungover and just not want to play this match at all.
Yeah. David Silva got hurt in their last match.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. And then um, I
Kubo's been
it's
playing great.
yeah, Kubo, really nice goal against Almeria where he cut in and like curled it into the
Oh
far
yeah,
post.
that curler
Yeah,
on the top left corner, that thing was
yeah,
fucking nasty.
yeah, nice goal from him. So if these guys are playing, I think you'll see a changed side from Sevilla, like you said, the guys that were out there.
They also played like
Uh,
140 minutes with all that extra
right.
time added.
Well, that was a lot of that was just fucking walking around and bullshit. Like that was that last game could have
It's still like
right.
140 minutes plus PKs. Like
No,
that's a lot of fucking soccer.
it is. But a player that I think you'll see the guys that change, like when Sevilla rotate, it's like Rafa Mir comes in,
Yeah.
Eric Lamela comes in. I think those guys um, may be good looks for shots. Papu Gomez, another guy. Um, I think Solarov and Kubo would be the guys I would kind of target. Um, but yeah, I don't. I want to see these lineups how it plays out. For me, it's a game that it could be a snooze fest. Like you
Yeah.
said, they don't have much to play for either team. They're both kind of locked in where they're at, and it could very well end up being just a kind of a boring game. But I think there is enough attacking talent, and you want to end your season on a high if you can, and get some
Especially at
shots.
home too. Like
Right.
Sociedad have been strong at home all year, and I just think it's an advantageous spot knowing that Sevilla do not care at all, and that they've been partying their asses off the last couple of
Hmm.
days. I just think that the number on Sociedad, I know it's a little bit juiced, but like I was expecting Sociedad like below minus 150, knowing that Sevilla are like this is their job's done. Like their job
Yeah,
is finished.
that's true.
And then the last one I want to talk, and we'll get the hell out of here
Yep.
because I want to throw some bets in for this Sassuolo match. Madrid versus Bilbao. Bilbao, I guess, are still kind of hanging around there in the conversation. Are they? No, I think they're done. But anyway, Madrid, you're getting essentially a plus number on them. They're minus 105. Yeah, okay. Bilbao is still hanging around with Osasuna for that Europa Conference League spot. Same with
Yeah, they could.
Girona.
Yeah, they could get caught by any number of teams below them. I think uh,
I
Vallecano
think
can catch them
they're in
too.
for a very
Yeah,
long day playing at the Bernabeu, especially if Benz is playing, especially if it could potentially be Benz's last game. I'm absolutely taking Benz win cast if he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madrid at just -105. It seems way too easy for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if it is Benzema's last game, you got to play him for a goal. I don't think he signs off without netting one. So it may even be worth playing a ladder there.
Yep.
2 and 3 goals, because we've talked about Bilbao's struggles on the road. Whether they hold on to this Conference League spot or not, like I don't know. Madrid, the last thing they'll want to do is get pipped by
Bilbao at
Atleti.
home in the Bernabeu for the last game.
Yeah, that'd be a rotten taste to leave in everybody's mouth, and I think you would also potentially get pipped by Atleti for second. Finishing below them is not on the cards. I think they want to finish this thing out strong with a win here at home. Vinny's still out, right? He's suspended as well, or is he going to be able to play this game?
I don't know if he's suspended. They've been saying it's a knee injury.
It was a straight red card though for the. Oh, did they? Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay,
he's also missed 2 matches, so like even if they unrescind it, like he's already missed 2 matches.
Yeah, you don't really need to risk anything. But with the lineups here, some projections I'm seeing he may make the team here. And Carlo will play him. He played his ass like almost every match.
He'll play him all day.
Right.
All day he'll play. He's 21 years old. He needs as much tick as he can get.
Yeah. So, I guess that's what I'll keep an eye out for. We'll see Ben's in the lineup, and then I'll probably ladder his goals.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Champions League final. Are we doing another show before the Champions League final, or is this our last show?
This is our last show. There'll be another Friday show before the Champions League final. So it won't. We probably won't.
Going to be on it.
Yeah, we probably won't do an entire show on soccer. Obviously, you can also join in on our Twitter Spaces for Champions League final that McAfee so kindly hosts. There's always great information there. But yeah, we can jump into that a little bit more next week, since that's a full 7, 8, 9. That's a full 10 days off. That's the Monday the 10th. So.
All right, man. Well, good luck today, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, always love chopping it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks, GoldBoys, for hosting. Thanks, Pickett, for sponsoring. Thanks, Sleeper Fantasy, for sponsoring. Yep, we got the merch right there.
Got the merch.
I'm Burroaks. That's McAfee. This was Box to Box. Thank you for tuning in. We out.